It's an ordinary June day of 2018 in Merseyside. A man is aboard a private plane that's about to take off.
These guys in Belgium are packing some serious artillery here. Little 14-hour boat trip on this now. He's come and met me there. Undercover Moroccan police. With transporting a prisoner. This is where I'm going to, it's Freetown there. Better luck trying to catch me when I go to the country next time, Merseyside police.
The plane will leave the UK airspace along with its passenger, who's more than eager to leave the country. He will then leave the plane, take another flight, hitch a boat trip and drive across another continent to get away. This 5,000-mile journey is his way of running from the law's strong clutches. However, how long can he manage to evade capture? That remains to be seen. He has no intention of hiding his whereabouts, so the police know where he is. But would the police bother to arrange his capture in Africa? Let's find out the answer to these questions and many more in this episode. This is the story of Sam Walker, a man with over 100 charges, multiple prison terms, and the title of modern-day Robin Hood, and sometimes that of a bad Samaritan. Who is Sam Walker? A narcotic dealer with over 100 offences in his rap sheet and dozens of convictions, Sam Walker remains an enigma for both law enforcement and the people of Liverpool. Walker once claimed that his extensive rap sheet owed to an illicit lifestyle that began when he was a child. He has spent a major part of his adult life chasing law enforcement. While spending time in prison for a better part of his life, he has been convicted of a catalogue of crimes including violence, firearms and narcotic supply. Additionally, his prison time has been nothing short of happening, as he's had spats with gangsters like Stephen French and posted videos about life from inside the prison, much to the chagrin of prison authorities. Sam Walker rose to prominence in 2008 in his early 20s for peddling smack and coke on the streets of Holton. His gang was earning up to £2,500 a day, pushing narcotics around Widnes, Runcorn and the surrounding areas. It stopped when the police caught the gang in a sting operation, seizing £12 million worth of narcotics along with luxury cars, jewellery and bundles of cash. He was sentenced to 4.5 years in 2010. However, this had not been the end of his brush with the justice system. He has been repeatedly brought before the courts and earned quite a reputation for his courtroom outbursts. Interestingly, the operation that had led to Walker and his mob's arrest was undercover and stretched over 6 months. The mob didn't realise they were dealing smack and crack to an undercover officer acting as a junkie. He pleaded guilty on the second day of his trial to 4 counts of supplying a Class A narcotic. While he made headlines for peddling, this wasn't his first encounter with the law. He had previous convictions for narcotics. According to the Liverpool Echo, Walker was making a name for himself in the local underworld at that time. Well, that's quite some journey, don't you think? From making a name in the local underworld, he ultimately made a name for himself nationwide and sometimes internationally. The kind of name he has made is debatable though. Once he posted pictures of himself smoking a spliff in his jail cell. From dubbing sentences a stitch-up to calling one hearing a kangaroo court, he presented quite a show for the media. Nevertheless, on many occasions, he came across as polite and charming. Once, Walker was slapped with an addition sentence for contempt of court after he argued with a High Court judge. At that time, he was convicted of a 100-mile-an-hour police chase. During the hearing, he brandished a copy of a local newspaper, the Liverpool Echo, before the judge, which contained a story of a sex offender, comparing his punishment to the community sentences given out to some paedophiles. The thug made headlines for his spat with the football star Ross Barkley. He got into a disagreement with the footballer over a woman in 2014. The thug posted a cryptic tweet that read, "Inbox me a number for you, you little rat." You know what this is about, so don't act stupid, or your footy career will come to an end. Barclay was visited by Merseyside police, but declined to make a complaint about the message. It was thought to have been sent after Barclay's ex-girlfriend started dating Walker. According to the Mirror, Barclay and Walker met and spoke in a Liverpool nightclub playground around the time of this incident. Coming back to his 2010 arrest, Walker had his sentence extended for leaving a threatening voice message on a police officer's phone. He'd just been released on licence in 2012 after completing half of his sentence. However, he was re-arrested after being stopped by the police. According to the police, he failed to comply with his parole conditions after not reporting to the probation service. They tried to track him down and stopped him while he was driving a BMW. He didn't have insurance and was disqualified from driving. Despite this, it didn't stop him from driving again without insurance. He was subsequently charged with driving a Ford Mondeo without insurance and leaving a threatening voice message on a police officer's phone. This led to an extra 5 months in jail in addition to his narcotics sentence. The 4-month sentence for driving offences was to run concurrently. The thug also had previous charges for possessing ecstasy, an imitation weapon with intent, and several dishonesty in driving offences. He was also charged for attempting to smuggle narcotics and mobile phones into Doncaster prison while he was an inmate there, but he was found not guilty. Another charge that he was cleared of was possessing counterfeit cash. He was charged with this offence when he was arrested by police after they recognised him. The police found 10 ecstasy pills as well as fake £20 notes on him. However, Walker denies knowing the notes were fake. The jury found a unanimous verdict in 2014, much to Walker's dismay, who was saying that this would be another not guilty. Notably, the thug had kept the law enforcement quite busy with multiple charges. As mentioned earlier, he was charged with smuggling forbidden items into the prison while being an inmate in 2013. After getting released, he pictured himself in a black t-shirt bearing the slogan, "Not Guilty," beneath his jacket. However, he couldn't be as lucky on his next charge. Before we delve into that, let's first tell you an interesting thing after he got cleared of this charge. He told the media that he had his heart set on writing children's books. He expressed the desire to turn his back on crime and write books to help kids stay on the right path. According to him, he had already written one manuscript explaining his struggles growing up in South Liverpool and life behind bars. He told friends that he wanted to use the book's profits to establish a youth centre to keep youngsters off the streets. But before he could get onto it, he was charged with another crime, possessing narcotics and stimulant narcotics. The one we mentioned earlier. Guess what happened when Walker learned he wouldn't be getting out of the fake notes charge? Walker picked a verbal fight with the judge, and not any judge, but one of the most formidable judges of Liverpool. While being jailed for possessing counterfeit cash, he shouted that the sentence was a stitch-up. That's when he brought up the Echo report, claiming sex offenders who destroyed people's lives only got community punishment orders, while he had had only £480 in fake cash. He vehemently denied knowledge of the notes being fake. However, neither the jury nor the judge believed him. He was handed a 12-month sentence for possession of counterfeit currency and 2 months for possession of a controlled substance. At this point, it wouldn't even be surprising to know that he landed in another altercation with law enforcement soon. In February 2016, he made headlines again for allegedly committing fraud by promising to pay InStyle Furniture in County Road, Walton, £4,200 for goods. Walker allegedly made the payment in Scottish banknotes. Now, this case is one interesting saga, and this time not because of Walker. He actually got cleared of the charges because the Merseyside police mislaid CCTV footage. The footage was crucial in tying Walker to the crime and was to be played at the trial. Not only that the copy of the video was lost, but also the original was no longer available. Since Walker was denying the charge, the other side didn't have a leg to stand on without the tape. Walker accused Merseyside police of trying to frame him and destroying evidence. However, due to lack of evidence, he was cleared of counterfeit currency charges. By then, Walker had been sentenced to over 24 years in prison in total, of which he had served 14 years. According to him, "I've got no excuses, it's all my own fault. I deserved every one of those 24 years. The one I didn't deserve was when I got 12 months for the counterfeit currency that I didn't do. The fact is, I pleaded guilty to every single offence. I've never been found guilty." Merseyside police had footage from Asda car park of me doing the exchange with the person, buying a computer and phone. Again, it disappeared. He told the court in the counterfeit Scottish notes case that at his son's birth in 2010, he had looked at things differently and changed his ways. However, the police continued to target him. Any opportunity they could get to stitch me up, they would. They didn't like the fact that I was going legit. What do you think about Sam Walker's accusations? Were they valid or just a means to defend his case? Coming back to Walker, he also told the court that he had established a successful security firm and been buying and selling watches. As soon as the police realised, they jumped on his case non-stop. As for denying the counterfeit banknote charge, he said that he was 100% certain that they were not his notes. The notes he gave to the concerned person had English notes in with them, while the notes handed to the bank were 100% Scottish. Did Sam Walker leave any stone unturned to evade the law? Sam Walker made headlines again in 2018, not only that he had fled the UK, but also he taunted the police while accomplishing that. He revealed the details of his dramatic journey. First, he got a plane to a remote field in Antwerp, then took a personal flight to Barcelona, Spain, before hitching a little 14-hour boat trip to Morocco. After that, he was driven across Africa for 3 days across the Sahara, Mauritania and Senegal to Guinea before taking another boat to Freetown, Sierra Leone. He taunted the officers in his videos, saying, "Better luck trying to catch me when I go out of the country next time, Merseyside police." Interestingly, at this time he wasn't even wanted on Merseyside. Cheshire police were looking for him for not answering bail for driving while disqualified. Nevertheless, Walker told the BBC when he was in Africa that he visited the country because his grandfather was born there. The self-confessed criminal claimed to be working with slum residents to improve the supply of drinking water and had paid for a container of food, clothes and toys to be delivered. In his own words, "I was in a catch-22, attend court and risk that small possibility of potentially going to prison, and then I'm not going to be able to do me container and give it out to the people in the slums? Or do I just court and go to Africa and help the people? I chose the latter." He said he intended to return to face the music and that he would have appeared had the date not coincided with the shipment's delivery. It proved to be true as he didn't stay there for long, but he showed no signs of facing the music after coming back. Before we get into that, let's see how he got back into the UK without catching the attention of authorities. He returned to the UK after a few weeks, in a helicopter to evade police. He even posted a video tutorial about sneaking back to the UK whilst wanted.
I was sat outside Cheshire Police Station. Blue lights coming out of Cheshire Police Station. This very same police force that tried to frame me, right? Said I was disqualified from driving when I weren't, in an attempt to try and sabotage my container. Obviously, it didn't work. So, yeah, little rats, aren't they? But yeah, at last. Done what I needed to do in Sierra Leone, fit of fresh water in the slums, got to a container full of goods which I'd made them a promise that I'd do. Merseyside police and Cheshire police tried to sabotage them when he tried to frame me for disqualified driving when I wasn't even disqualified. Said they'd get me when I come back into the UK, even though they would have stopped me at the airport. It's only a disqualified driver, but they tried to frame me.
After coming back, he was arrested in July 2018, and according to the Liverpool Echo, he had committed even more offences by then. He drove away from superfast auto glazing in St Helens without paying for a new windshield. He distracted the garage owner before driving off in a silver Rover MG ZT. According to him, he always intended to pay and only fled because he spotted the police. Now, that's not a man who intended to face the consequences of his actions. Nevertheless, he was taken to court and then released for some time, after which followed a 100-mile-an-hour police chase. He crashed his white BMW but escaped. Another police pursuit followed, a 55-mile-an-hour chase in a Ford Focus in August 2018. This pursuit ended in him clipping a car in a street with children playing outside. He was finally locked up after getting caught in a Mercedes in August 2018. He had 4 ecstasy tablets on him. Later, in September, he was caught with a mobile phone in his cell at HMP Liverpool. He defended his act, saying he didn't use the phone for crime and only for posting on social media. If you think it's hard to keep up with the score of his charges, imagine sifting through confusing news reports and verifying the years of his crimes. His prolificacy has taken quite a toll on crime reporters and journalists. By the end of the same year, he had enlisted more charges in his sheet. He admitted possession of ecstasy and driving. However, he denied the charges of possession of a prohibited weapon, pepper spray, and that of cannabis possession. Notably, Walker was already serving a sentence in Leeds prison when he was charged with these offences. He was also facing 2 counts of dangerous driving after 2 police chases, 3 of disqualified driving, 2 of having no insurance, 1 of failing to stop, and 1 of failing to report a road traffic accident. Later, another charge was added to his list, smuggling a mobile phone in prison. All these charges led to a 33-month sentence in 2019 in total. In 2020, he was back at Liverpool Crown Court, where he was found guilty of stealing a £160 replacement car windscreen, for which he was slapped with an additional 12 weeks in prison. And guess what Walker's reply to it was? After receiving the sentence, he said, "Nice one." For a person who was already being punished by a judge for being lippy, this was quite a brazen response. Even at that time, he had initially refused to apologise to the judge, who was one of Liverpool's most formidable judges. While his charge sheet was a major reason for his name in the news, he made headlines for other reasons too. In 2017, he took 8 rough sleepers off the city's streets and put them up in the Shankly Hotel. He covered the costs for people to spend 2 nights at the hotel. He said he wanted to give something back because sleeping in a warm bed and wearing clean clothes every day is not the reality for some people. Sam Walker spent jail time with Stephen the Devil French, an ex-martial arts champion. However, he later engaged in an online spat with French in 2017. It all started when the police started investigating the claims that French may have been assaulted by paedophile Jimmy Savile as a child. Walker mocked French and posted a mock-up of French in a Teletubbies costume. After a nasty tirade, French started posting flyers suggesting an organised fight in Wrexham, with the caption, "Whenever a problem arrives, do 3 things. Face it, fight it, finish it." Become a pain in the arse for prison authorities. Sam Walker's shenanigans didn't stop in prison. He proved in every way that he had no regard for the law. In November 2020, he had his jail term increased. You're not going to believe what he did to get it. He arranged for prison officers' cars to be torched. Earlier, he was at HMP Manchester when he caused trouble and then transferred to HMP Durham. He was jailed there after admitting 6 offences, including conspiracy to commit criminal damage. He was also slapped with a restraining order which prevented him from contacting 4 named prison officers and a 10-year criminal behaviour order to stop him intimidating jail staff. He was also found to have a mobile phone when he was brought to HMP Manchester. 2 days later, another phone was found on him, hidden in the hem of his dressing gown when the cell was searched. This was a violation of prison rules, and informing of which led to Walker getting abusive. Allegedly, he told staff that he had a line of kids waiting to do whatever he wanted, and he would find the officers' addresses and he would send people round. Same evening, 4 men got into the staff car park at the prison and damaged 7 vehicles, including one belonging to a nurse. smashing windows and pouring a corrosive substance on them. He pulled off the same intimidation tactics at Durham prison and was arrested just minutes after getting released from the jail. Walker's possession of a mobile phone while in jail was no secret. He was filming his jail experience and having it posted online from a maximum security prison. Notably, this is the prison where a mobile phone cost £3,000 at that time. He was becoming a pain in the neck for prison authorities no matter where he was transferred. As of March 2020, he has been imprisoned in 16 jails in just 18 months. This video was made in HMP Whitemoor. You can see him showing his prison card. According to him, he was sent here because he was exposing the reality of extremity inside the prison. Now, he makes an egregious claim about the prison. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. He mocked the prison authorities when they were alerted to prevent the ingoing of mobile phones inside the cells.
When you sat in your cell minding your own business, and then you scroll down into the teletext, and you see they've been talking about you. More action is needed to stop mobile phones entering jails after a prisoner was able to set up a YouTube channel from his cell. Prison Officers Association Chairman Mark Fairhurst said it was frustrating prisoners were finding ingenious ways to hide phones. Drug dealer Sam Walker was found using a smuggled mobile phone to run a YouTube and Twitter account. Well, isn't it funny that all these prison ministers want to complain, but it's their prison officers that are bringing these phones in for us, charging them £1,000 a time. And then they've got the cheek to go and put me on telly like this. Cheeky buggers. Tell your prison officers to stop bringing drugs and phones in there.
If you think that's the end of his rap sheet, you have another thing coming. He was arrested again after being stopped on the motorway in a Maserati. It wasn't just driving his luxury car while disqualified that landed him in trouble. He was carrying 3 kilograms of cannabis inside. So much for someone who wanted to turn his life around, right? After this stop in 2021, he was arrested and charged with multiple driving offences and narcotic haul. Not only this, but he was also charged with possession of counterfeit currency after £3,800 of fake banknotes were also found inside the car. He pleaded guilty to possession with intent to supply narcotics, driving while disqualified and without insurance. However, he contested the charges of holding counterfeit currency, claiming the money was used for playing poker with his friends like Monopoly money. He was again found not guilty in regard to the counterfeit currency. He was sentenced to 15 months over the narcotic conviction and driving offences. Moreover, he was banned from driving for 3 years with an uplift to 3.5 years to reflect time served in prison. And this was again a start of the life in prison videos, which sometimes show singing prisoners and other times showing the routine in jail. Here he is, giving a tour of his cell. He doesn't seem happy with the living conditions in jail. Do you think the prison cells should be comfy, or should they be less comfortable to remind prisoners of the crimes they committed? Remember that we are not talking about basic human rights here. Coming back to the video, do you think it's that bad, or are these conditions just fine? Now he's showing the view from his window. Here comes the interesting part. This is the most popular phone in prison because of its size and ability to deceive scanners. The Zanko phone is also known as Boss Beater. While serving the sentence, Walker announced on his social media that he would go legit after getting out and setting up a few profitable businesses. He walked out of the prison doors, but he still wasn't out of the woods. He was still being tracked by the police and later was sent to prison again after his tracker went off for hours. However, Walker claims that it was only because there was a fault in his tracker and it wasn't charged. These flip-flops with the law continued after he skipped bail in 2024 and pulled off another stunt, the 2018 escape saga. How did Sam Walker become modern-day Robin Hood? Walker had been complaining about being a victim of constant police harassment on his social media handles for several months. He was arrested in February 2024 near Bournemouth, Dorset, on suspicion of supplying Class A narcotics. However, this proved to be his last brush with the law, at least for some time. He fled the UK after getting bail and now faces the possibility of being jailed for violating his bail term upon his return to his country. But how did he flee the UK? Well, given that it wasn't his first rodeo, he managed it seamlessly. Right after getting bail, the thug fled on a private plane and cargo ship. Apparently, money wasn't an issue because he came with a bag full of money, bag stuffed to the brim with 50s. He had earlier taunted police for the missing £11,000 during a search operation.
Just come back to my apartment, these dirty rat police raided it. Look what they missed, the stupid bastards. 11 grand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, £11,000. The stupid bastards, just shows how fucking stupid they are, doesn't it? 11 grand they've missed, the fucking stupid bastards. Yeah, that's how fucking pathetic the police are. Unlucky fellas.
Sam Walker made sure that his escape wasn't short of dramatics. While his gloating online guide, How to Get Out of the UK When You're Wanted by Police, amused the internet users and went viral, some elements of law enforcement are not impressed with the shenanigans. Walker made headlines after fleeing the UK and filming his escape. He posted a short tutorial on how to escape from the UK when you're wanted. According to him, this elaborate journey included chartering a private plane and using a cargo ship to cross the Mediterranean to avoid border checks as his passport was seized. It was a 6-day journey crisscrossing Europe, the Middle East and North Africa. It might give you deja vu from his 2018 escape, but this time Walker doesn't seem to have any intention of coming back, at least for now. Nevertheless, he arrived in Sierra Leone again and seemed to have picked up right where he left off. With dozens of convictions for over 130 offences, Sam Walker decided to flee to Sierra Leone to work with people who, according to him, had been failed by charities. According to him, he could be in Marbella or Dubai living life, but he chose to go to the slums to change lives. After absconding from the UK, Sam Walker arrived at a fully secure compound with 3 armed security who were loyal and ready, according to him. The self-proclaimed career criminal revealed that he was arrested by military police in Sierra Leone in March 2024. According to him, he has no ill will against this incident. He was arrested by the military police while he was making a video. Here is a glimpse of the dramatic incident. Walker was released 48 hours later, saying it was all a misunderstanding. He posted another video at the place where he was first arrested. He also praised the president of Sierra Leone, while maintaining that he had no ill will. He reiterated that he could be at a beach in Dubai, but instead was here helping people. Walker also said that his charity work will be funded by his company registered in Sierra Leone called Chameleon Diamonds. The convicted dealer started a movement called the People's Revolution to help deserving people. Walker also responded to the criticism of him being a criminal.
Right, so many people have messaged me asking me to set up a GoFundMe and always messaging me saying, any chance I can send you money? I've always refused, but you know what? The more I think about it, I've had at least 50 messages and I'm thinking it's a massive injustice to the people in the slums if we don't get this sorted, because we need to work it where it's sustainable as well for everyone else who sat at home, who sat there wanting to help and they can't. And it's obviously the frustration, I can see it in messages with some people. I put one of the messages on my Instagram. Yes, unfortunately, what we'll set up a GoFundMe, but we'll do it differently. I'm going to do it differently. So here's what we're going to do. I always call on charities to be 100% transparent with exactly where every penny is spent. So how I'm going to do this GoFundMe is, whatever's raised, I will do a video, and whatever's money's been used with the video, so with that particular project, I will then back it up with receipts and videos of it being done.
His claims about the work there done are significant. Here's the picture of the fresh water well claimed to have been installed for 2,000 people. What do you think about Sam Walker's approach to doing good in the world while evading the law himself? Is he really the modern day Robin Hood, or is this just another charade he's trying to pull off? More importantly, are these handouts of a bunch of notes enough to compensate for the crimes he committed in the UK? Notably, Sierra Leone was rocked for 12 years by civil war, all thanks to profits from the diamonds Walker aims to use to turn around the locals' fates. These diamonds are controversial and known as blood diamonds for their unethical sourcing and usage. Many people doubt Walker's intentions and claim him to be another Blood Diamond guy. Do you think Walker actually intends to help poor people?